Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to another section with Ascent Debt Recovery. So on today's episode, we'll be talking about regulatory agencies for money lending. So you all agree with me that money is the is something that you all need, everyone needs, like is the will of the gospel, like they will say money is the will of the gospel. So if you need money, or if you need to go into business, one of the major things that you would first consider is the financial part of the business. So this is to say that the act of money lending or the act of borrowing money is something that's long been in existence. So it's not just today that money lending activities came to be. So the act of money lending even started, I would say started like even from the age of trade by barter, where someone would need something, then you exchange a return of another. So let's say I need to start a business. I have some materials and all of that, and there's someone who also wants to do something. He also does not have the resources to. So if the person has what I need and I have what the person needs, we can like trade it so that everyone is able to carry out their activities. So this to say that money lending is like it's a very long standing matter. So it's not just something that started this year or some few years ago. So and the act of money lending too is something that we can all relate to it. So we also understand that money is something that every business needs to thrive. So if you have a business running and you are short of fund, that may be the beginning of that business being wound up, or it may be something that would hinder the growth or everything, all your speculations and all of that. So money can be a bar to your business growth. So this afternoon we'll be talking about what money lenders should take note of. Are you looking at going into the business of money lending, or are you looking at engaging the services of a money lender? So this is just for you to know how this business arrangement, or this sector, this industry is being regulated, because in Nigeria today there are so many regulatory agencies, like a lot of agencies that regulate businesses in Nigeria, particularly the financial sector. So this is one sector that the country is so much concerned about, because money is not something that you just transact on and everybody goes like that. So it is an industry that is well regulated. So this afternoon we'll be looking at regulatory agencies in the money lending industry, and what we're just talking about is just for you to know what you need to put into place if you are looking at going into money lending, and if you are also benefiting from a money lender, to knowing how this industry also works to should it will also help you in knowing how to deal with them. And if there is any money lending institution that is in default of all these regulations or regulatory agencies, as a customer you can challenge some of their activities. Particularly in recent times, there are so many unethical practices now that some money lenders or money lending institutions engage in. Even something as simple as phone calls. There are some phone calls you receive, like yesterday around 9 p.m. I just got a call on my phone, on a phone number, like not just like the regular number, but all these official lines, all these like 6 digit, 4 digit, like 4 digit. Like, I just got the call on my phone, and it was like an automated message, automated call. So once as I picked the call, the first thing I heard was, "Hello, your family member from name so and so is doing," and even the name that was mentioned, I don't have any family member like that. So even if I have a family member like that, let's just assume I have a family member like that, or who bears that name, that is a very wrong practice. As a money lender, it is unethical for you to start calling people because they've obtained money from your institution, and if they fail to pay, the best you can do is to institute an action in court to recover the unpaid sum. But the act of money lenders going all the way to engage, even to engage security personnel. You see some money lending institutions, they engage police officers to recover money under the guise of fraudulent activities or whatsoever name or shading they are giving to it. All these are wrong and they are not in line with the regulations or the agencies or the laid down provisions for money lending business. So to start your money lending business, the first agency that you would have to deal with is the Corporate Affairs Commission, because that's the start point for all businesses in Nigeria. So the fact that you are into money lending, your first stop is at the Corporate Affairs Commission, where you duly register your business and you state the business objective. So if you are into money lending business and let's say you register a company or you register a business name and you state in your objectives that you want to carry on, let's say you want to carry on consultancy services, or you listed sales of goods and services and all of that. So if that is what you have in your CAC document and you are into the business or the business you are like carrying on, what you engage with that name is the business of money lending, that is very wrong. So if you want to go into money lending, it's either you review your business objectives with the Corporate Affairs Commission to include the business of money lending, or you incorporate a company, or you incorporate a company. So it's not even advised that you start money lending business using a business name. So it's best you incorporate a company to for the purpose of that money lending activity. So having done that with the Corporate Affairs Commission, what is the next stop? The next stop is for you to visit the department or the agency that has been set aside by the state where you wish to carry on business. You register with them. Like in Lagos State, we have the Ministry of Home Affairs. So that is the agency that is saddled with the responsibility of overseeing money lending business in Lagos State. So if you're in Lagos State, you visit the Ministry of Home Affairs to get your money lender certificate. And before you even get to Ministry of Home Affairs, one of the things you need to put in place before visiting the Ministry of Home Affairs is to visit the police station. Like in Lagos State, the preferred police station to visit is the Nigerian police, the police force, the office at Alagbo. That is the prescribed police establishment that is saddled with issuing fingerprint form for money lending purposes in Lagos State. Because one of the requirements of money lending, one of the provisions of the agency, remember we are talking about the roles of agencies in money lending business. So we are looking at the Ministry of Home Affairs now. So this agency, one of the requirements for the issuance of money lending certificates is that you need to have the fingerprints of the directors of the business verified. It's the police division at Alagmo. So that is the arm of the police force which they recognize. So if you do it at any other police station in Lagos State, it will not be accepted for that purpose. So you have to do it at Alagbo. So having done that, the next place you have to visit is the court. And also for this purpose too, the Ministry of Home Affairs too, remember it is the agency that regulates money lending in Lagos. So the courts part, you also have to do that in a particular judicial division in Lagos State. So if you go to any other judicial division, so for the magistrate certificate, you won't even get it, or it will not be accepted, because they are designated judicial divisions, registries that can give you that magistrate certificate. So having done this, then you can now proceed to the Ministry of Home Affairs, where you'll be given a form. You'll be given you have to write an application letter. You have to put some things in place. You need to get a roll-up banner. You need to have your vision, mission, everything. You have to get everything done. So this is to let you know that the business of money lending is not just something that you just wake up and you, because you have the fund that you just want to go into it. No, because there are some provisions, there are some requirements, there are laid down regulations that you need to comply with. And the essence of these regulations is to protect not just the business, the people who are borrowing money from you, but they are there to protect you, so that you are not you don't run afoul of any provisions of the law, and you are able to smoothly run your business, your money lending business. And you know that even when you have issues with customers, you have things to fall back on. You have you know that you have the license, you have everything in place. So even when someone is trying to challenge interest, because we've seen cases where people will borrow money and they will tell you, oh, I didn't plan to pay interest, or we didn't do this, we didn't do that. But if you go through the money lenders law, and you also go through the agency, you go through them, they will guide you. Because at the point of issuing your money lender certificate, before they do that, they visit your business premises, they come for interview sections, they put you through officials of the Ministry of Home Affairs in Lagos State. So if you are not in Lagos State and you are watching this video or this section, if you are joining us live, or if you are watching it at a later time, you can make inquiries on departments that is responsible for money lending in your state where you carry on that business. So in Lagos State, that's why you keep hearing the word Ministry of Home Affairs. In other states, it may not be Ministry of Home Affairs. So you need to know the name of the agency in your state. So having done that, when they come for interview, for example in Lagos State, they tell you the things you need to do, how the business is to be operated. They even come for inspections, because they can come at any time to inspect your business premises, to check your books, to know your customers, and all of this. So these are reasons why you need to know how money lending works in Nigeria. So it's not just for you to just start giving out money to people, start charging interest. And this is why you see so many unethical practices, because these people, they've not sat down to understudy and know the agency and know the regulations and even know what the law says about that business. So what other thing do you need to put into consideration? You should know that as a money lender, you are not just responsible to the Ministry of Home Affairs, like I've said. There's also an agency too that also makes provisions, and this agency is not, the provisions is not just limited to money lenders. It is limited to all both private institutions and public institutions. And this agency is the National Information Technology Development Agency. And the essence of the roles of this agency is that they regulate data protection in Nigeria. So remember when I started, I talked about I referred to the call I got last night, where a particular money lending company called, and it was an automated call, so I couldn't even give a feedback. I would have had to address that issue if it was not an automated call. I would have addressed the person who called me last night. So this needs the National Information Technology Development Agency. It is the principal regulatory framework. It is principal regulatory body that provides framework. They have there's an act that provides framework for data protection in Nigeria. And when I talk about data protection, so let's say as a money lender, at the time they are giving out loans or credits to business owners or individuals, they give you some information like their name, their address, their phone number, their email. Sometimes, and in most cases, you even have a place where you have to state your next of kin, or your spouse name, your work address, the name of your employers, and all these details. They are data that will help you in it is expected that there should be data that you can use to recover money owed to you. But there are ways in which you can use this information. So let's say someone has approached your entity for a particular loan, you've advanced the loan, the person has the guarantor's details and all of that, and the person has defaulted in paying. if you need to reach out to this next of kin and all of that, you got their details, the best is to write an official letter. You can write a letter to them, be official in your dealings. But in these days now, you just like, sometimes you can just open your phone, you just see series of SMS messages, or even on WhatsApp, or even social media accounts. You see Facebook or Instagram, your DMs, and you keep seeing messages from different loan apps or different loan companies saying that this particular person, your family member or your friend or your brother, your wife, obtained money under false details and all of that. You cook up stories because you want to get your money back. All these things, they are against the provisions of NITDA, because this agency they mandate all business owners to comply with data privacy policy. All these keeping data of people. You should keep data of people. They are not public documents. So it is very wrong as a money lender for you to start reaching out to people. You send bulk SMSs. You can incur liabilities for that. Even if someone is owing you and you've gone there are better ways of getting your money. But if you've chosen the path of using these techniques of getting your money back, and you think, oh, it will to be a very fast way of getting money owed to you, I can tell you that these people that are owing you, if you do things like this and they are well informed of what they can do to resolve, because some of these things, they are insulting messages and messages that can impair or damage their personality out there. So someone, even if the person is owing you, the person can also file an action in court for defamation, because the way these messages are always couched, sometimes you see message like, oh, this person obtained money and the person ran away, and these are fabrications which are untrue. So you can save your business from incurring liabilities, from incurring loss for doing things in a very unethical way. So what other regulations or what other agency again applies to money lending? So we also have the Nigerian Communications Commission. So same way as we have the NISDA, the NCC has a regulation that provides for consumer codes, like how you deal with consumers. So we have Consumer Code of Practice Regulation, and this regulation, just as the NISDA Act provides, it also provides that the data of consumers, and who are consumers. So now you are in the service industry, so you are not giving out you are not providing foods like that. So when you say someone is a consumer of product and service, so it need not be eating food. So someone who you render service to is a consumer of that service. So these provisions, this Consumer Code of Practice Regulation provides that details of consumers should be kept private. So you don't just reveal details of people, you don't just expose them out there because they are owing you and all of that. So failing to do this, it can even amount to a revocation of your license. So you've obtained money lending license, fine, you have the certificate, you have everything backed by various legal documents, but if you are not doing business the right way, you can have that license revoked. So this is why this afternoon we've come to enlighten you to know that as a money lender, there are better ways of carrying your business. There are legal ways in which you can get money that people have refused to pay. There are better ways of managing the affairs of a business, such that you are not in default of any regulatory provision. So if you want to carry on the business of money lending, it is good to have it registered, so that you'll be able to sufficiently charge interest rates, and you won't because the provision, if you look at the provisions of the money lenders law, it provides that it is only when you have a money lender certificate, that is when you have the sole authority, you have, like, you are enabled, you are powered to charge interest. So if you carry on, if you loan people money, so the money lenders law is not saying you cannot loan people money. You can loan people money, but the only condition where you have to charge interest is if you have a money lender certificate, you are licensed. So this money, it can also be a bank. So if you are a bank and you are into the provision of, like I said, provision, you are into the business of loaning people money, you can do that. But if you are not a bank, you don't have a money lending license, you are not a financial, like a registered financial institution or financial service provider, and you're just like, your friend just comes to you and says that, oh, I want to borrow money, and you say, oh, I will give you this money, you pay me back this interest. If the person pays you back, all well and good. But if the person fails to pay you, you may not be able to to recover the interest on that particular loan, or the particular amount you've advanced to your friend or your family member or your colleague at work and all of that. So I'm not saying that you cannot borrow people money if you are not a money lender. You can give people money, you can give people credit if you have the fund and you have someone who needs money. But the duty or the power to charge interest and to be able to sue for interest is only like specifically provided for if you have a money lender's license. So I believe that you've picked one or two things from today's section. So if you have any question, you can drop it with the chat box, or if you need to know more about how to get your money lender's license, or if you already have a money lender's license, if you need to know more about money lending, you can just reach out to us. And another thing that you need to know before we end this section is, for money lenders license, you need to keep renewing it every year. So this is why you need to know the provision of the money lenders law and what the agency and the agencies that regulate this money lending. So if you operate a money lender's business and you've obtained the license, you need to keep renewing it every year so that you are not found in default of the provisions of the law. So thank you for joining us this afternoon, and do have a beautiful week ahead.